You.
There was no sound, counselor.
No sound.
Did you share the audio?
And he was getting
Ah, man. At that moment, he fucked up.
Go ahead.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, still my peoples and my guys. Look alive, look alive. It's your boy, Act Reacher, Judge Galvatron presiding. You all my witnesses and jury. You may all be seated if you're not seated already. Court is now in session. Finally.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't official to the gavel slammed anyway. That's what it was. You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, I think it's because Stay Ready wasn't here. You know what I'm saying? I think that's why everything been going wrong. Now your boy in the building, everything is just fine.
I'll rock with.
Salute to Stay Ready being doing double duty in the chat and then and being in the building right now. Yo, guys, I guess somebody got some feedback. Could we go on mute while each other's talking? Yeah. I think it's you, 503.
Oh, I mean, okay.
Yeah.
Huh?
But I say you got headphones?
Yeah, I got headphones, but for some reason, bro, when I put myself on mute, you start chopping. I don't know why I do that. But I got some headphones. I'm finna put them in.
Okay. All right, yeah. So just put the headphones in. You can leave your mic hot because it does do that sometimes when everybody's on mute. And then, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Well, anyway, first case on the docket.
First case, LDBC versus JoJo Diaz. I will be defending JoJo Diaz today.
Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Mic check.
So who's the
you good 503.
Who's the prosecution?
Okay.
Okay, Supreme Beast. All right, that's all I wanted to know. Let's get started. It's been a week.
Supreme Beast, if you want to lead off with your opening arguments against JoJo Diaz, you had a beautiful video earlier today. Make sure y'all subscribe to Supreme Beast Boxing Talk, and I mean where he discussed JoJo Diaz in detail earlier today. But proceed, prosecutor.
Okay, Your Honor, my paperwork does not say JoJo Diaz. My paperwork says the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I just want to make sure that I'm prosecuting the right person.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, last JoJo Diaz fight, he fought Tevin Farmer in a knockout drag out fight. He got split up real good and showed real grit and determination to win a fight. After winning that fight, it should have been, he had in the fight, I guess, paperwork that it was going to be a rematch. He dodged a rematch. Now, most people would excuse him dodging a rematch if he going to unify, but he has no intentions of unifying or doing anything with any other champion in the division, which automatically is slowing up the process, slower than what the fuck it already is. Then, after doing that, he turns around and declines the Tevin Farmer fight behind money, so to speak. He declines the fight behind money and has this fight with Akamarinov or whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying, his name is, that was just a mandatory. And from last week, we had discussed IBF just putting anybody in the fucking mandatory in the slots from over there in Russia. They don't deserve it. That's why they were found guilty last week. So it's obvious that guy didn't deserve it. And he fucked around and had a draw against him. And on top of having that draw, he came in overweight, hence the name Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Lost his belt. He lost the belt on a scale. another one. And he did it for short change money because it was just a mandatory. And after doing that, to put the cherry on top of the cake, Yana, this motherfucker was fucking with Dope Man, Trigger Man Canahan. You know what I'm saying? Got a loan from him, got a loan from somebody else. You know what I'm saying? He's like $200,000 in the hole on a $500,000 fight that he got. And he still got to pay everybody in his corner. Shit is looking fucked up over there. I think he gonna join the drug team in a second. But yeah, man, he's fucking up real bad, and he's fucking up for a whole 130, and his ass is in the way. His fat ass is in the way.
That's your opening statement.
Yep.
That's the process. Okay. Would the defense like to add?
Yes, I would, Your Honor. The prosecution has some valid points, but Your Honor, our whole objective here with my client is I want you to grant my client what we call leniency. My client deserves leniency. A good to great fighter with only one loss on his record. I mean, has been going through some troubled times. We won't speak on the other situations that are becoming of Jojo Diaz, but they do weigh on the reason why he was unable to make weight for that championship fight. We had earlier, we was in the graveyard. We was bullshitting in the graveyard, but we wasn't bullshitting in the graveyard because a serious question was posed to a professional fighter, Carlos Jackson. I asked him, what was the life like in the bubble? Is it easy to make weight? You know what I mean? In the bubble, is the facilities there the same way it is outside of the bubble in regular circumstances? And you know what he said? He said no. It's a lot harder to make weight. You know what I mean? So my client deserves some leniency because it's harder to make weight being in a bubble that had insufficient facilities. No sauna, no gym. Had to do most of his workouts in the hallway, in his room. Not accustomed to that. So that played a part into why Jojo Diaz came in 3.5 pounds overweight. But mind you, my client still had the wherewithal to come in within the IBF limit. The day after weigh-in or the day after weight, he made that weight. You know what I mean? He didn't come in, he didn't balloon after that from 3.5 to 15 pounds over. He kept it within the IBF limit for the day after. Once again, I ask you, Judge, to grant my client leniency. You know what I mean? As we see another great fighter fight tomorrow. You know what I mean? Tomorrow night, there's been a pattern, a precedence, as you can say, that we've granted the great Ohio player many times leniency. You know what I mean? Tomorrow, we have been we'll grant him leniency for not making weight and being able to actually move the weight limit up. But we still want to see him fight and still interested of what's going to happen after tomorrow because we're giving this Ohio player leniency. Can my client, Jojo Diaz, get some leniency up in this courtroom today, Your Honor? I rest my case.
Okay, Your Honor. And that's
I'll open it up for closing arguments before we render judgment.
Okay, Yana. That was beautiful that he put leniency, and he wants leniency because he did not make weight. But what he failed to mention anything about, Your Honor, was all of his extracurricular activities leading up to the fight, which was definitely bitch assness, which is half of the reason why he here. And the major key in this whole thing, Your Honor, he was not in shape. His fight plan for this fight, they asked him what was his plan for the fight. He said he wanted to knock the guy out early. He has a 50% knockout percentage, and he want to knock somebody out early. Of course, it went to decision. And you fought to a draw and was getting your ass whipped at the tail end of the fight because you was out of shape. Out of shape has nothing to do with weight. Now, if you can't make the weight because of facilities and all that extracurricular shit that go on inside the bubble, cool. But you not being in shape for a championship fight when you are the champion is inexcusable. I rest my case.
Would the defense like to add anything?
Mistakes do happen in young careers. The stripping of the belt was enough of a consequence, enough of a punishment. There's no guarantee that Jojo Diaz will get an immediate rematch. But what I will ask the judge is to grant him not only leniency, but the winner of Rachmaninoff versus Ogawa. Ogawa, who's another guy who popped dirty and was a former IBF champion title holder from beating Tevin Farmer, but he popped dirty, and now he's back in the picture fighting Rachmaninoff. I think once again you judged the IBF last week on episode 3. You judged them guilty, and look what they're doing once again. They're having their belt holder held by the likes of Rachmaninoff or Ogawa. Uh, Once again, we see what's going on tomorrow. We've granted leniency to our Ohio player many times over and over again. We just need to grant leniency one time to my guy Jojo Diaz.
Objection,
One
Your
time to my guy Jojo Diaz, who's shown.
Sustained.
Thank you.
Let the defense continue.
Who's shown enough regard once again. Who's shown enough regard once again to stay within the under the IBF limit, the 10% limit. You know what I mean? He didn't go above that. He was criminal in going above with 3.5 pounds. He lost his belt. That was a shameful act, and he's definitely sorry for that, Your Honor. He's definitely sorry for that, Your Honor. But he showed that he's disciplined enough that going under the IBF, who's a corrupt sanctioning body, but they still have their rules and regulations, and he still abided by them. You know what I mean? You have to credit that. You have to credit some type of time served.
Absolutely not, man. He want leniency like Jojo Diaz black. He not black.
Oh. Okay.
How he ain't black with a name like JoJo?
The only other JoJo I know is Seawall.
Yes, sir. And I just want to make a closing argument, Your Honor. And this is in the prosecution's favor. If we didn't give David Benavidez another chance to get his belt back when Canelo came in and swooped it, why should we give Jojo Diaz another chance? Who the fuck is Jojo Diaz? He's damn sure not a David Benavidez. That's all, Your Honor.
I kind of gotta agree with what 503 just said. Damn, I hate you 503 because I was on Oddfellas side the whole goddamn time.
In defense of my client, that's off fine and dandy, but this is not a popularity contest. You know what I mean? we can't show Your Honor partiality to some of our favorite fighters, and we know on this panel we have some of our prosecutors have favorite fighters. You know what I mean? So, Your Honor, take into consideration that we cannot show partiality. You know what I mean? I rest my case.
Well, we reached the verdict. Case docket 2021. The people verse Jojo Diaz. We find him, the defendant, not guilty. I don't think he's guilty. The man had a baby on the way. A lot of these boxes, pandemic hit us all, man. I keep telling y'all that, man.
Judge, are we gonna use the pandemic as an excuse?
Wait a minute.
We're not gonna use the pandemic as an excuse,
but
at the same time, look, listen. It's not even just that. It is the fact that a lot of these dudes can't get to go on their walks. Jamal Heron talked about it. He said that him and Terrence Crawford before the fight, they like to do long walks and things like that and jog and stuff like that. Fighters can't do these type of things before the fight. I'm not saying that that's still an excuse to not make weight, because it's not. But at the same time, you know what I mean? I could excuse the kid thing and stuff like that, because I excused it with Benavidez.
Hold on.
And I'm letting Adrian Broner.
Hold on, Cadillac. I want to appeal.
Even though I wasn't feeling it.
I want to appeal to the court. Even though the ruling is down, I want to appeal. And my appeal is that Regis Prograis had a baby on the way, and we crucified Regis. David Benavidez had a baby on the way.
Objection.
Hold on.
We didn't crucify Regis because he wasn't in court of law.
Sustained, counselor. I agree with him. Let him finish. Let him finish.
Hold on. Look, Regis had a baby on the way. David Benavidez had a baby on the way. Now Jojo Diaz had a baby on the way. Y'all did crucify Regis. I took up for Regis. Y'all crucified David. I took up for David. It was another fighter. Y'all. The reason y'all crucified him because Earl Spence had a baby on the way and he didn't miss weight. Y'all crucified both of those brothers, but y'all gave Earl a pass, and I think Jamal had the baby. Jamal's wife had the baby. She didn't get pregnant. She had the baby during the pandemic, but she didn't get pregnant during the pandemic. But the rest of them did. But y'all crucified them because Earl had a baby on the way, and he didn't miss weight. So I'm going to say this: if we can give those guys those same crucifixions and jump on them while using Earl as the example of him having a baby and making the weight, then I don't think Jojo Diaz gets the same gets babied and gets a different treatment from those guys. I think he deserves that.
I don't remember anybody crucifying Regis.
No,
I don't remember anybody crucifying Regis. I don't remember nobody crucifying Broner.
Hold on, Yana. That's what I'm saying. Because you missed the charges. And that's why I think that the ruling was messed up. It's more than missing weight. He fought to a draw against a mandatory that he didn't deserve to even be a mandatory. Let's talk about that. Fuck the weight. The weight is fine. If y'all want to throw that, if y'all want to say that other people miss weight and pandemic, I'm talking about you fighting to a draw against a mandatory that shouldn't even be a mandatory. What about that?
I said that fight would be tough for him. My man's fought him in the amateurs, my boy Jorge. And I said that. I definitely said that. Watch the live. I said it wasn't going to be easy when I brought up my boy Jorge. It was in 503's live. And one of his lives.
A draw?
I'm not surprised. Y'all could be surprised by that. I'm not surprised.
Okay.
Your Honor, are we moving on?
Yeah, next case on the docket. My ruling still stands. Not guilty.
Thank you. Thank you.
because too many people got it passed. I don't think people was hard enough. Maybe from Mac's point of view, he seen that, but from my point of view, I didn't see that. I feel like everybody was being too nice, like always.
Case number 2 on the docket: the LDBC versus the WBA. I will be prosecuting the WBA in this instance. Who will be defending the WBA today in episode 4?
Don't look at me. I don't fuck these sanctioned bodies. My apologies, Judge. I hate.
Second on G for Cholo. I don't like the WBA neither.
I told
Preem,
you.
go on smoke this nigga, man. Smoke this nigga, Preem.
KG, where KG at? Where KG
He's sitting
at?
over there on his high horse and shit, like he done did something.
Where's your paralegal at?
I'll defend the WBA.
Where's your wife beating paralegal?
KG, you there?
Yeah, KG still there.
What the fuck?
Oh, okay. I'm just saying, like, hey.
Look, KG had one phone call.
I recant that statement. Inside joke.
I'm back. I'm back here taking damn notes and shit, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
That's all
Rob Sportsman Lee already talk about the WBA guilty. Hold on, man. Hold on now, brother.
Get the rope come, man. All right, man, go ahead, man.
Hey, we got 5-4 continuance.
Well, in understand, I'll start with my opening statements as the prosecution to give y'all defense a chance to build your case.
We gotta be clear if there's a defense.
I know you're unprepared.
I'm gonna defend him.
Okay.
Yeah, I defend him. Fuck it.
My charges to the sanctioning body this week is to dismantle, disassemble, and demote and destroy the WBA. You know what I mean? Get them all the way the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? There's multiple situations of their corruption. You know what I mean? And I will state them, you know what I mean, in this courtroom once again today. We had you can say a former / active fighter in Fresno Kendo. You know what I mean? He's been making the rounds in the LDBC. Salute to Bronx on deck, you know what I mean? Because he first was, I believe, on True Titans channel. You know what I mean? Stating his case. He was over there with Barbershop Fred on Barbershop Conversations on his channel, stating his case. And the WBA has wrongfully done him for years upon years upon years. You know what I mean? Give this man his title shot. You know what I mean? That he's been deserved. You know what I mean? It's been damn near a decade. It almost seems like. So that's just one situation. The Fresno Kendo situation, once again, that's actively going on. Okendo is actively under litigation, proceeding to sue the WBA. But we'll go on to some very recent news, boxing topic news. Of course, the WBA, in my opinion, wrongfully stripped Pacquiao. You know what I
Objection,
mean?
Your Honor. Pacquiao already got found guilty. He already got found guilty. He did that shit to himself. We already discussed that. Objection.
Your Honor, this has to do to the patterns of the case. You know what I mean? Wrongfully stripped Pacquiao without ordering any type of fight beforehand. They've done the same thing with the newly crowned WBO champion and Brian Castano. We remember Brian Castano was also
I'll allow it. We just won't count it towards the record. We won't count it towards the record. I'll allow it though.
Brian Castano was also the WBA champion who was wrongfully stripped, and it was placed back into the hands of Larry Lara by defeating Canelo's older, washed up brother in Ramon Alvarez. Absolutely egregious. You know what I mean? By the WBA by doing that. Recent times. We had 2 weeks ago. We had the Black Homer Simpson and Trevor Bryan win the WBA heavyweight championship. You know what I mean? Against watched Bermain Stavern, who's been on a 2-fight losing streak. You know what I mean? All of a sudden he has the credentials and the fortitude to be in a championship fight. Once again, the WBA is confusing the public with all these champions because they have a super champion, they have a regular champion, and they also have an interim champion. So it's absolutely ridiculous what they're doing. Trevor Bryan can actually pose around as a legitimate champion with a legitimate championship belt at the same time as Anthony Joshua. So it's absolutely ridiculous to confusing the public. They're also holding their own promotions and broadcasts. They're holding their own broadcasts. So they're cutting the networks out of the situation, and they're staging their own broadcasts. And who are they staging? Who's headlining their broadcasts and their fights? They're highly ranked fighters. A fighter by the name of Gabriel Meister I believe in the junior middleweight division, who's 5-0, and he's ranked number 3 or number 4. Absolutely ridiculous, and they're marketing this guy while he's highly and boosted up in their rankings without fighting nobody of regard. The WBA has been continuously violating boxing code. Last but not least, they sanctioned the fight with lightly known UK champion or domestic champion in Joe Fournier, who popped dirty and was suspended by the British Boxing Commission. But that was all right with the WBA because they said, Joe Fournier, come on over to DR, come on over to the Dominican Republic, and you can fight for one of our international WBA titles. You know what I mean? Even though that you pop dirty over there in the UK, because in DR it's something different. Be all right with what you did. You know what I mean? I rest my case. The WBA needs to be dismantled, disassembled, demoted, and that's it.
Now, see, Yana, he said the same thing. He said the same things last week about the IBF. He just switched the names up. You know what I'm saying? And he's going at these sanctioning bodies, but the sanctioning body that he believes in is just as fluke. And we're gonna have their day in court just as well. Now, everybody know all of the sanctioned bodies are corrupt. All the shit he's saying seems like my client is just trying to keep up with the fucking times. They trying not to get passed up. And I kind of gotta salute them because they not biased. We all know everybody else. Last week his argument with the IBF is that they don't consider the brothers. They don't fuck with the Aboriginals and all the extra shit. All they care about is Germany and Russia. You know what I'm saying? Right? That was the shit, right? And then we know about the WBC. All the fuck they give a fuck about is Mexican fighters. So they'll shit on everybody else but the Mexican fighters. Seems to me like the WBA shitting on everybody and giving everybody a title at the same damn time. So I mean, shit, they equal opportunists around and they got to keep ahead of the time. What do you want motherfuckers to do? Because like I said, the plaintiff believes in a lineal championship. I think that's bullshit because they never have a mandatory. They could fuck around and say they the lineal champ, get caught on drugs, and have to get suspended, retire, whatever the fuck, and then come back like they still got it. Shit like that is crazy to me, absurd to me. That shit that any normal section body wouldn't do. No one would stand for that shit. You'd have been got stripped. Somebody else would have been fought for that shit. But that seems not to ride with the plaintiff. He cool with all that. So of course he would be at the IBF and the WBA net. But like I said, my client is equal opportunity shitting on everybody, and he's gonna give you a title to do it. You know what I'm saying? You can't get upset with that. That's not. I don't see anything holding up any fights behind that, behind the extracurricular shit that they be doing.
Your Honor, if I may proceed, I do have a problem with that for the fact that they are. You're right, counselor. You're right. They are equal opportunists, and they're equally getting sanctioning fees from the super belt, from the regular belt, as well as the interim belt. Absolutely egregious 3 times. You know what I mean? They're getting sanctioning fees. You know what I mean? At a high level. You know what I mean? Most definitely, they're equal opportunists, bleeding these fighters without making the proper fights. You know what I mean? Without making the proper fights. That's absolutely egregious. And I rest my case on that.
Okay, and I'll close mine with this one, Your Honor. Most importantly, we do this boxing shit and we respect all the historians that do this shit. The WBA was the first ones to do this shit. They planted their flag down first. You know what I'm saying? There's been a lot of ups and downs. There's been a lot of wild shit. We all know that the shit do be corrupt, but they've been doing this shit from jump. They should be found not guilty off the strength that they was here in the beginning. They started this motherfucking damn thing. You heard me? So that's the
objection. That's a false statement. They didn't start anything. They just started pimping the game. They started pimping boxing first. That maybe you can give them credit for that. You know what I mean? They didn't start boxing. They didn't start. They didn't start trashing boxing.
Order in the court. Order in the court. Y'all speaking out of turn.
They started something. You can't say they didn't start nothing and then say they started pimping something. That means they started something. So you got to respect what's been going on in the game that's been going on ever since then. You know what I'm saying? And they motherfucking station. Don't even worry about that. Just yeah.
Your Honor, are you gonna sit here and allow this man to say the WBA should not be dismantled for the fact they were the first to establish sanctioning fees?
It's not important in the court, but we'll note it and we'll add it as judgment.
All right.
So is that your closing argument?
Yeah.
For the prosecution and the defense?
Yeah.
All right. In the case of the LDBC versus the WBA, court docket case 2022, we find the WBA guilty on all charges.
God damn.
Just because you're doing right sometimes don't mean you're doing right all the time, like Mama used to say. Next case on the docket.
When are we gonna bring up, Judge? When are we gonna bring up charges against the WBC then?
Oh,
That's next week.
Yeah, that's next week.
Yeah, it's next week. We do one
you think I liked it
per week.
Mac think I liked it. You think I liked it with something?
Hold on, wait. You do. Because you said that. I'm going off of your words. You know,
I don't run a kangaroo court, counselor. I don't show partiality. I said that I always am the one that state that this is the wild, wild west. I'm the one that said when everybody was like, "Oh, when you turn pro, go to the IBF. IBF." I said no. I said no.
Because green is your favorite color.
I'll admit, I did say that, but honestly, I've been saying lately, I'm gonna get in where I fit in. Whoever give me an opportunity first, I'm going for it. All of them is corrupt.
You know, people
as far as I'm concerned.
People are allowed to change. I just wanted to bring that up. All right.
Yeah.
Next case on the docket.
Next case on the docket, case 3, the LDBC versus the Zone. I'll proceed and and say firstly that I'll
Whoa,
be
whoa. Who's the defense and who's the prosecution? We
That's
got
what
to
I
get
said.
that.
That's what I'm saying. I'll firstly state that I'm be in defense of the zone in
Okay.
I
case three.
Okay.
prosecuting them hoes.
Oh, you prosecuting the Mac?
I don't mind. Fuck it.
Okay, Mac. Let Mac. Mac never got to be a prosecutor. This should be interesting.
Well, you go ahead in your defense first.
Yeah. Opening statement for the defense. And do you have any motion of discovery for us and the jury?
I object for firstly. I feel that the prosecution hasn't laid the charges of to the
Okay.
zone, so I feel that actually the prosecution should lead with their
Sustained. I
opening
actually
statement.
agree.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay, I agree as
Sustained.
well. So the charges are overcharging customers, giving us
Racketeering.
crap fights, giving us expecting us to expecting Americans, not anybody, Americans to accept the transatlantic deal. And we know that comes from slavery. They want us to accept slavery all over again. They're trying to human traffic us. You know. Also,
Objection. What are these charges?
Order.
These are
Order.
misdemeanor crimes at
oh,
best.
Order,
The-
counsel.
this
objection,
is
Your
a
Order,
Honor.
counsel.
for this
Objection, Your
court.
Honor.
Sustained. Let the prosecution finish, counselor. We're not running a kangaroo court here.
Also saying that pay-per-view is dead while charging us pay-per-view to watch fighters like Canelo.
And Ryan Garcia and Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, yes. Those are the charges.
Damn, money laundering, racketeering.
So do I need
You
to
do it,
start?
Eddie.
Yes, proceed with your opening statements now that you done gave us your trumped up charges. Go ahead.
No chumped up charges. The zone came in the door saying this was going to be a transatlantic deal, but not being sensitive to people that are descendants of slaves that come from Africa, knowing that that's originally what the African slave trade was a transatlantic deal. That's number one. So they were being insensitive to our African ancestors that came over here on slave ships, also the slaves that are still under the sea that died.
Objection. Eddie Hearn's an idiot.
Overruled,
He
sustained,
ain't know what he was doing.
and
But hold on,
counselor, control yourself.
ignorance of the law is not an excuse.
Which law did he break by?
Insensitivity. Now back to my opening statement. Being insensitive to our ancestors who's died in that transatlantic deal. That's number one. Number two, they said pay-per-view was dead. Like they said nobody would buy pay-per-views, even though we have proof with fighters like the Bronze Bomber, Earl Spence Jr., Canelo even proving this. The Charlo brothers have proven this. We have proof that pay-per-view is alive and booming. And then after they see pay-per-view is still alive and booming, they go off and charge 50, even 75 in some cases. I think the Canelo fight was 75. Ryan Garcia's was 50 to buy and watch on your TV if you didn't order the zone. But it was pay-per-view, like you go to the pay-per-view channel to watch it. Like, but they said they were against pay-per-view, but they went ahead and sold us pay-per-view. That's two. Then three, They came and they gave us the zone originally. Wasn't the zone $10 a month?
Yeah, it started off $10 a month.
Then it went to $15 a month. Then it went to
Then
$20 a month.
20.
Now this pandemic hit, and they even went up to even more. I don't know. I never knew. I never had it. I think I bought it one time for one fight, but they kept jacking the price up because they wasn't consistent with what they originally stated. I understand that it's business and you're gonna lose money, but at the same time, if you offer a product at a certain price, people expect that price to be that. Netflix don't go up on their price every few months. Netflix,
Yeah,
it takes years before Netflix go up on their prices.
that's facts.
Netflix started off at $9.99. It's only been up to $15, and Netflix been around how long? It's got to be at least minimum 10 years, maybe longer. But every few months they coming up with a new excuse to raise their prices. It's highway robbery. I think the zone is snake oil salesman. And then
Objection.
Ford,
Objection.
but
There's no
no,
there's no proof. There's
Order,
no proof
order,
Hey,
of
hey,
the
objection.
of
He's
order,
the
badgering
three
the
month
he's
the
badgering the
price
witness.
Judge,
increment. There's no proof of the
Judge,
3 month price increment.
order,
You have
guys, order.
exhibits. You
you
have
just did.
exhibits.
Counselor, counselor,
These are
counselor,
opening statements. These are opening statements.
counselor. You
Judge, you
have
might
to
have to throw
allow.
this man up out of court if he can't control himself, Judge. Can we
He,
I
please?
don't want to hold them in
Can we
contempt.
please
That's
get
a
the opening
counselor.
statements?
he's pandering the jury, Judge. He's pandering the jury. Now, four and the final charge, Judge, is that
Yes.
they we're paying for the price that they're making us. They're making their customers pay for viewership, but then they're giving you fights like Canelo versus Abner Durham. Then they're giving you fights like uh, uh, Laura versus Josh Warrington, or I think the best fight we've got so far.
Sorry about that. Just
I,
had to do that.
I think the best fight we've got so far was the Ryan Garcia fight. Nothing wrong with Canelo and I can't even think his name, Callum Smith, but the Ryan Garcia fight versus you know mayonnaise. He got dropped. It made for excitement, but for the rest of the fights that we've been getting on the regular, the undercards that they're giving us, the fights in totality have been garbage. ESPN has been putting on better cards, and their fights aren't that good.
That's your opening. That's you
That is
finish your
my
opening
opening.
statement.
I rest my opening statement, Sean. Go ahead, defense. I'm going on mute.
Okay.
Please go on mute while
Let's go, counselor.
I establish why the zone should be exonerated from all these charges. This is absolute foolery. Because you're talking about price points and you're not getting this and that, but you fail to mention that the zone is the only network where you can cancel your contract month by month, huh? You can't do that with Showtime. You can't do that with your cable shit.
Objection. False narratives, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Ob-
Go ahead,
Object.
counselor. Go,
One
go,
If
more.
you
go,
don't like what you're
counselor.
seeing, if you
Let
don't
it.
like what you're seeing, you can cancel it off. You can stop paying. You know what I mean? To
You can
say,
do
yeah,
you
watch
can
the
do
show
you can do the same thing with
Bible
you can do
three,
the same thing with
Bible three,
ESPN.
Order, order, order.
you be
Let
promoting that.
let the counselor finish his argument. Let the
Yo,
counselor finish his argument.
I don't think I'm gonna get the zone this month because they don't really got nothing. But next month, I'm about to get the zone. That's how it be. And they give you the option to do that. With these other cable networks, yeah, you can technically do that, but it's a little bit harder to do. You know what I mean? Understand the zone gives you options. It gives you options. You can put it on your TV, put it on your tablet, put it on your phone. You know what I mean? You can have it everywhere. You know what I mean? You can't do that really with cable TV. You know what I mean, so to speak. You can't do that with Showtime and ESPN. They bring in boxing on demand. You know what I mean? If you forget to record the fight, you know what I mean? Well, the zone already got it. The
Objection, your
zone got that. The zone
uh,
already
uh,
got it. They got
objection,
boxing on
Sustained,
demand. Just
sustained.
like, just like
objection.
you was
Hold on.
talking
I didn't.
earlier,
I didn't
counselor,
finish
about
my
Netflix. You know
objection.
what I mean? They trying to establish the fact that boxing needs to move on to the next generation of broadcasting, and not through just simple terrestrial TV and cable TV, but the way people are consuming boxing and consuming media on a whole is through different type of apps, and through different type of apps and different type of social media apps and whatnot. And the zone is presenting that people want. They're trying to consume things on demand, and if they don't get it live, well, they should be able to have it. You know what I mean, on demand, and that's what the zone is giving. What ESPN and the other networks like PBC is not giving you. You know what I mean? The pay-per-view model now, mind you, the pay-per-view model was just implemented, you know what I mean, for these fools, you know what I mean, that just don't want to get the app. You know what I mean, that just don't want to pay the simple $20, you know what I mean, to get the app, because maybe possibly they don't got a smart TV. You know what I mean? Maybe possibly they're still under the misunderstanding that the zone is just something that goes on your Android, on your iPhone, or something like that. You know what I mean? They don't understand that it goes on a smart TV, on your tablet, or whatever. You can play it simultaneously or whatnot. But yeah, you know what I mean? The zone, it can do all these things. You know what I mean? Now, the pay-per-view model was established for these folks that, you know what I mean, are still married to terrestrial TV, that are still married to terrestrial TV, that don't want to get divorced from it. You know what I mean? So it makes it easier. Okay, we'll pay the $75 on terrestrial TV to pay for that pay-per-view because it's more accessible. They're making it accessible for the old school fan, you know what I mean, that don't fuck with the or don't mess, sorry your honor, with the smart TV, with the new age, with the new apps and stuff like that, to see the fights as well. Now, not only do they do that,
Wait,
they give you the
wait.
incentive. Listen, they
Now,
give you
Because
the
he
now,
wouldn't let me object.
now,
I'm going to
prosecutor,
object right
prosecutor,
now. He would not let me object
prosecutor,
because
order,
I was trying.
prosecutor.
Hold
I
on,
agree.
but I
Look,
was
I
trying
agree
to
with you.
object.
Look,
But you got. But
sustain, and I because I do agree
please,
with you.
please,
Listen,
please.
listen, counselor.
Yo, he
but
yo,
how is he
please.
We can't
sustaining?
become. You gotta get to your point, counselor.
But
You
here's the
gotta get
thing:
to your
he's
point,
giving
counselor.
false
We don't want to be
information.
old men
He,
by the
he's
time.
but he's giving false
Wow,
information, and I
He's
gotta
giving
correct
false
it.
information, but at the same
objection.
time, that will not have to do with or show any partiality with the judge or jury in this court.
But the
Whether it's
jury is
false,
listening. You can't give the jury false information. You need to scratch that from the report, Judge.
you
Objection.
really
You can't
can't. Really, you can't give false.
you can't just
False information
interrupt
outside
my
of the
build.
court.
You can't
You
just
know what I mean?
interrupt
They
my
don't know
build.
that it's false
You can't just
information
interrupt my
inside the
build.
court. With all due
You have a
respect.
chance to debate.
But I
You have a
know it's
chance
false
to rebuttal.
information, and I. So let me bring some truth to the court, if you don't
Nah,
mind.
nah, 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 nigga. It's not your turn. It's not your turn. First
You,
of all, whatever you say should have been should be
I'm not.
stricken
I'm not.
off the
I'm
record.
not
You know
stealing
what I
the
mean?
turn.
Because judge, you
This is
show
you now.
partiality.
This
You
is
let the
okay.
counselor just bring my
I
bill.
didn't listen. I didn't
No,
show partiality. I told
talking.
him to stop, and I told him that I'll allow you to continue. I just wanted you to make your point so that we could render judgment, and because we got other cases on the docket.
Now, lastly, if I can finish, the pay-per-view, not only if are they giving you, they're charging you for the $75, but they're giving you the incentive to give you 3 months free, 3 months free if you decide to get the app. You know what I mean? So you're not saying that. You're not saying that. You're just acting like, oh, whoa, oh, they just came off of the pay-per-view. No, they just came off of the reason that they understood that they need to be more accessible to the old school fans that ain't really up on the apps yet. And I rest my case.
Before you go further, Judge, he said that cable TV don't have an app. I don't have cable. I got rid of my cable a long time ago. Fox has an app. Showtime has an app. ESPN has an app. CNBC and CBS has an app. And I can go back and watch the fight. I don't have to record it. And I can go back and watch old fights on Fox and Showtime. I don't have to worry about recording it. So I just wanted to bring those facts in front of the judge so he can see that according to what he was saying, that unlike cable, the zone is this and that, but the cable channel that the fights are shown on has apps.
I would like to ask I would like to ask the courtroom, um, how many of those the Fox app as well as the Showtime app is operational on your smart TVs? Because I know everybody on this panel has smart TVs.
I have a curve. It's functioning just fine on my curve. Even my HBO Max.
You talking about the Fox app, right, counselor?
Yes.
He's
Do you
talking
watch?
about the
Yeah,
Do you watch
yeah.
fights
I
off
watch the Fox. I
of
have a Fire
app,
Stick. I watch.
the
I,
Showtime the
yeah,
Showtime
yeah. I have the app. I have the app.
specifically
That's
the
a fact.
Showtime?
That's a
Yes,
fact.
yes. If you get the Showtime app right now, you will be able to watch Adrian Broner versus Giovanni Santiago tomorrow,
Yeah,
sir.
you will.
If you
Yeah.
are
As long-
if you get the ESPN Plus, you can watch fights on the ESPN Plus app tomorrow.
But and also Showtime has an app, so you
I
can
know
watch it on.
Yeah,
that's what I
Showtime.
said, John. If you get the Showtime app, you can watch Adrian
Yeah.
Broner versus Santiago.
If you
Mhm.
Yeah.
buy it,
Now,
$5.
do those apps have a vault of uh
Yes, I said that.
fights from not only
Yes.
from the year, but from say last week? So from 2 weeks from now, will we be able to watch Adrian Broner against Giovanni Santiago on
I can
demand?
I can go back and watch Errol Spence
Yeah, I
versus
could go watch it
right
like the
now.
next day.
Yeah,
I could watch
I,
it the
Yeah.
next day,
I can go
or maybe
watch
that night if
Spence.
they depending
You
on
can
how quick
also
they
you can
put it up.
also you can also watch the all accesses from yesterday, from yesteryear and yesterday, like Marcos Maidana, Adrian Broner, which I watch, and also Judge these high apps, these high network apps like Showtime and Fox and PBC on Fox and DAZN. They have YouTube pages where you can watch content and fights on the YouTube page.
Yes, that's
Just
true. Very
just
true.
just to throw that out there.
Also, Your Honor, I want to throw one more thing in. Showtime and Fox and ESPN don't hit your social media when you post highlight from one of their fights like the Zone does as soon as you post it.
Ooh, they got me. They got me like that with
Okay,
that.
I'm ready. I'm ready to render judgment. I'm
Hold on,
ready.
hold
To,
on.
I'm ready to render. We've been too long on this case,
Man,
y'all.
I want
This
to
case is really not. It really wasn't supposed to be that long. It's the
I
zone.
have a closing statement because once again, before you render your verdict, I
Like
have
we
to
on 3. We ain't
I
even
have
on
to
4 yet.
I, I have to say, you know what I mean, because earlier on, it was forgotten about the whole transatlantic situation, but we have African Americans on board, no pun intended, right now that haven't said nothing to that statement. You know what I mean? Trail Bill, who we call Trail Bill, has said nothing to that transatlantic statement. Our very own Black Jesus that fucks with the LDBC has said nothing to that transatlantic statement. Of course, Boo Boo Andrade, you know what I mean, that wears the greatest of blouses, you know what I mean, that's honest blouse game for
Well,
real. He said nothing about the transatlantic, you know what I mean, situation. You know what I mean? So I moved to stricken that, and I believe that's irrelevant to the whole situation of the zone, and should be established if you were bringing up or appealing Eddie Hearn on charges or further charges. I rest my case.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add one thing. The defense very first objection during the prosecution opening statement, they said, "I object. Eddie Hearn is an idiot." Zone is on
Okay.
trial. Hold on.
Y'all, I'm ready, man.
The zone is on trial, and the zone gave that idiot $500 million. That's it.
All right.
Maybe please get the verdict, Your Honor.
I'm trying. Well, the LDBC versus Eddie Hearn in the zone, we find them guilty. Sorry, guilty, counselor. Like,
Bang the gavel. Yes, sir.
Like, I gotta keep it real. I'm gonna tell you what this judge said in New York to this kid that was like 23 years old. You know how long it take a tree to grow? He said, "I think, Judge, 100 years." There you go. Next case on the docket.
Damn.
Case 4 on the docket.
Please.
The LDBC versus Spencer Farron.
Ooh, I want to know who the prosecution is. I'm gonna need something to drink for this one. Who's the defense? Who's gonna defend this?
I'll defend Spencer, man. Fuck it.
Okay,
yeah. Excuse me, Your Honor.
Who's prosecuting? Who's prosecuting?
I'll go ahead and prosecute this case. Spencer Farron.
Is you gonna prosecute every case, bro? You not letting nobody else prosecute, my nigga.
I got exhibits. Do other niggas got exhibits up in this bitch?
He said I got exhibits. He said I got exhibits.
What you see is what you get. Looking at
it. Rob, you heard what Law Sportsman Lee say? He said, "Get the rope and hang them high." Look, man. Now I'm telling you, that 100-year one was a bad one, man. You knew that judge was from New York. That was a bad one.
Listen, I charge this man of fraudulence, money laundering, tampering, and kidnapping of UK barbers.
Wow.
Or not just UK barbers, matter of fact, UK black barbers. Those are my charges that I will display to you why
Your
those
motion of
charges
discovery
will stick. I will display. Now, while I'm just pulling up.
Yeah. What's your opening statement?
I'm about to present my opening statement, Your Honor. I'm just opening my briefcase, my virtual briefcase.
Okay. You got exhibits.
Yeah, exactly. I do got exhibits for the jury to see, because this is definitely an important case. And I mean, of course, MTK Global has been a hot topic, you know what I mean, within the boxing community, with their shady dealings and their correlation to who we now call Trigger Man Dan. So understand, I'm gonna present you this case. Spencer Farron is definitely correlated, you know what I mean, with this Trigger Man Dan. You know what I mean? And I have the exhibits right here. But firstly, let's talk about Spencer Fearon real quick. You know what I mean? Because I charge this man of fraudulency because he's a fraud. You know what I mean? He out here disregarding and bashing a lot of American fighters, of African American fighters, especially Deontay Wilder, when he's and calling these American fighters a bum. You know what I mean? Bums, but he's a bum himself. You know what I mean? He's a bum himself. If we was to look at his box rec, if we was to look at his box rec right now, you know what I mean? Matter of fact, shall we look at his box rec? May I approach the stand with his box rec? You know what I mean? So we can see Exhibit A, Spencer Fearon.
I'll allow it. Not only will I allow it, we're going to count it towards the record.
Indeed. Let me just pull up his box rec real quick, and we will see Spencer Fearon, and here he is right here. Spencer Fearon, the British. His alias was the Spirit. You know what I mean? Of course, he's inactive. His career was from '97 to 2003. A record of 11-6, 3 KOs. You know what I mean? He's a 6 foot middleweight. You know what I mean? 74-inch reach advantage. You know what I mean? From London town. Y'all know what it is. You know what I mean? But when you look at his record, you know what I mean? You notice that every time he lost, it was against somebody of you know what I mean, with a winning record. You know what I mean? But you see it there. Logan 29-4, loss, 11-2, loss. You look at all his wins, they came from guys that are straight cans. You know what I mean? You see the red; those are tomato cans right there. You know what I mean? Straight cans. Look at that, red, 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 red. You know what I mean? So this is Spencer Fury, the bum, the can that's fraudulently talking about African American fighters such as Deontay Wilder. You know what I mean? That's Exhibit B. Let me remove that and stop the screen and remove that from the stream right there. You know what I mean? But yes, I have to give credit. Spencer Fearon was the first UK black promoter. You know what I mean? But he's getting tied into some shady dealings. You know what I mean? Some shady dealings, and we all know these dealings with the MTK Global. Now, what are his dealings with the MTK Global? Your Honor, may I present this to the stand real quick? This is proof of what his establishments or his connections are to the MTK Global. May I approach this with the stand to the stand, please?
Yes, you may. Get to
Okay.
the point. Get to the point.
We're now on the MTK Global website. If everybody here is to see, this is Exhibit B right here. Now, if you want to get in touch with the Spencer Fearon, who's the head of the MTK Global Foundation. Now, as you see here, if you can read at the beginning, to be eligible for grants, you know what a grant is, people of the court. A grant is when they're giving out money for you to give out services. Say, put out maybe a boxing clinic or do a boxing show or something like that. So essentially, Spencer Fearon is saying, "Yo, holla at your boy. Just email mtkglobal.com and we giving you the bags for a grant." You know what I mean? Now, who's doing that? The last people I seen doing that is the government. You know what I mean? The government of Canada giving out grants. You know what I mean? If you small businesses, you know what I mean? If you a musician on a come up or whatnot, they giving out grants for you to get some startup money and whatnot. But now all of a sudden, the MTK Global are giving out grants. Spencer Fearon is the contact man giving out. He the middleman to the plug to Trigger Man Dan. Is that what's going on? Is that what's going on here? Your Honor, should we put together a boxing clinic, or should we actually sponsor the boxing night court show by the MTK Global? because they're giving out grants. Spencer Fearon is giving out bags of laundered money. Huh? This is our Spencer Fearon. You know what I mean? Once again, I charge him of fraudulency, laundering, tampering, putting out the Deontay Wilder situation, bringing Breland in for the virtually in for the interview. At the same time, this big documentary about the about Trigger Man Dan came out. Deflection. We see the man's an agent. We see the man. His hair's always looking nice and trim, nice and lined up. But most of the UK mandom, except for one of them ones, but most of the UK black mandom for that are boxers can't find a barber. It's because Spencer Fearon has them kidnapped and all locked away in the dungeon, locked away just for himself. You know what I mean? Under the orders of Trigger Man Dan. Understand? I rest my case.
You ready, counsel?
Yes, sir. Now, the defense attorney has presented a stack of trumped up charges on my client. First things first, if I'm not mistaken, he said he wants to bring Spencer Fearon, aka Master Knowledge, my client, up on charges for kidnapping barbers. But last time I checked, in America and in the UK, this is a free country, and you are able to go to any barber that you wish to go to. And he says that Spencer Fearon is kidnapping all of the barbers for himself. Now, I find that to be a lie because Anthony Joshua has a pretty good shape up. Joshua Buatsi has a pretty good shape up.
It's a horrible shape up. There's a horrible shape up, and you know it.
Can I proceed? Can I proceed, Counselor? I didn't interrupt you not one time, Counselor. Thank you, sir. Please mute yourself. Okay. Now, it's plenty of UK guys that have pretty good edge ups and trims over there, as they would like to call it, a shape up. Anthony Joshua being one of them. Joshua Buatsi being another one. Okay. Tunde Ajayi being another one. Now, if you look at Tunde Ajayi's shape up, he would have somewhat what you call, as we like to call it in the South, a South side fade. And Tunde Ajayi is a pretty crispy old fellow. You know what I'm saying? He does pretty well for himself. You know what I'm saying? But he also says that he wants to bring my client up on charges for tampering. Now, all my client does at this point in time is host the Fight Is Right podcast with Tunde Ajayi. What is my client tampering with? You said he's laundering money. How is he laundering money when he doesn't have access to Trigger Man Daniel Canahan's funds? He isn't a financer. He isn't an accountant. He doesn't do none of the paperwork, or he doesn't even have access to these accounts. All he does is do media, and he talks to different fighters all over the world. If you go to the Fight Is Right podcast, they have talked to many of legends, as such as Antonio Tarver, Jay Prince, and of course, they just recently did the interview with Mark Breland, which I seem to believe that it was just a coincidence in timing that the same week this interview came out, the documentary came out a week before. Now, we can speculate and say that it was a distraction tactic or a deflection tactic, but it's all speculation. These UK brothers have always rolled for their countryman in any type, state, form, or fashion. We have Spencer Farron riding his
Objection.
countryman.
Objection.
Just
Oh man, okay.
Trigger Man Dan is not his countryman. That's a fact.
let the
I'm talking about
counselor,
fighters, sir.
let the prosecution.
I'm talking about fighters, sir. I'm not talking about Trigger Man Dan has nothing.
Prosecutor, let the
Go ahead.
defense do his thing. Go ahead. Continue.
Right, and I would like to present a exhibit to the case. I mean, to my case, if you don't mind, sir. I would like to screen share. Yeah, I do. Okay, now, as you see on my client's page, he has.
I'll see.
He doesn't.
Here it is. Hold on.
Yeah, he doesn't have any type of associations with Daniel Canahan on his page, right? My client is an upstanding Black United Kingdom brother, and he loves his Black people. As you can see, he has pictures of Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X, a lot of great Black people, Black activists, Black kings, as we like to call them, all over his page. I see no associations with Trigger Man, Daniel Canahan, as y'all like to call him. Nowhere in sight on his page. My client promotes nothing but positivity, and he rides for his countryman in the UK. As you can see right here, this is another point that I'm trying to prove, that he rides for his fellow countryman like Tyson Fury. You know what I'm saying? Tyson Fury overcame a lot of stuff, from drinking, drugging, losing the child, losing weight, to becoming a world champion. It wasn't my client that had anything to do with the glove accusations, the tampering with Deontay Wilder's water accusation. All my client has done up until this point is present to the boxing community with great content and great interviews for the people. That's all my client has done. I would like to get my client's case dismissed and thrown immediately out of the court, because these are trumped up charges. My client does not tamper with anything. And as you can see, this guy right here has a pretty good shape up as well. I'm just saying, I don't think my client is hiding or running from the barbers or doing any things that the prosecutor is claiming him to do. Now, it's up to you, client. It's up to you, judge, if you want to, bang the gavel on my client. But in my honest opinion, man, these are trumped up charges. My client has done nothing but represent for his Black brothers and his UK brothers, as you see throughout his boxing Instagram page. And I rest my case.
Your Honor, his only exhibit came through the fact of the Instagram page, and sometimes I believe the Instagram page can't be a credible source at some points, but at this point, he's taking the time to delete all association with Trigger Man Dan in his Instagram page, but he hasn't deleted some of the comments on his own show, Stamina for Sale, or the Price is Right, whatever you want to call it, because he has been quoted as saying Trigger Man Dan is the Messiah of boxing. He actually came to an American podcast, I believe by the name of Counterpunch Boxing. He was over there, and he was being questioned about those same statements. You know what I mean? And he was trying to dodge the bullet and say, "Oh, he was just joking." You wasn't just joking, and you did say the statement that Trigger Man Dan is the Messiah of boxing. This is how highly regarded, how highly you have regard to Trigger Man Dan, and that's why you're running his foundation, giving out grants. I rest my case.
All right, I'm ready to render my verdict. As far as docket case 2023, the LDBC versus Spencer Furin, uh, we find the defendant guilty on no charges. I did it, and that was a good point. And that was you had a couple good points. He's guilty though. He's guilty. I like the guy, but he's guilty. I think all of them over there you can't trust. All of them work with Trigger Man one way or another. Anybody that could get somebody shot during the weigh-in, that's a powerful man. Last case on the
Well,
docket, the one y'all all been waiting for, the big Machizo.
Case number 5, the LDBC versus Jamal Charlo.
Tell me it ain't so, counselor.
It is so. They're not major charges, but they are charges of being a petulant diva as well as neglecting his peoples. Neglecting his peoples. Um, 503. You admitted earlier. I'm gonna have to snitch. I'm gonna have to snitch that you haven't showered. You know what I mean? Because there's no water out there in Texas. There's no water out there in Texas. There's some real shit going on out there in Texas. You know what I mean? Due to this ice storm and due to this snowstorm. You know what I mean? Real shit. But Jamal Charlo doesn't think so. Jamal Charlo doesn't think so. 503, you gave me the ammo. You gave me actually the first exhibit. You know what I mean? Um, Judge, will you allow me to present this exhibit A to the stand, please?
Yeah, yeah. We'll allow it, and we'll count it towards the record.
Exhibit A. As you see, this is the room and the car of Jamal, Big Charlo, his DeLorean, beautiful car. You know what I mean? This is a beautiful room. It actually looks like it's in a living room. It's like, how did they build the house around the car? You know what I mean? How did they get the car in here? Because I don't see no garage or nothing like that. It's just I see the marble floors. You know what I mean? And whatnot. But while 503 don't got no shower, this nigga bitching about the ceiling then caved down on his DeLorean. Oh, first world problems. First world problems. You know what I mean? Now, the next day, Exhibit B. Exhibit B. While niggas is freezing and dying in the cold, trying to get clean water and shit like that, this nigga out here jet set, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Big pimping, spending G's, you know what I mean? Talking about it's below zero, you know what I mean? It's below zero, you know. This is the future of boxing, you know what I mean? Here with his, you know what I mean, with wifey, yeah, you know what I mean? Love to see the black unity. Love to see the black unity, but yo, can't you be unified and do some unity up in your own home community, which is struggling right now? You know what I mean? So shout out Exhibit C, Trey the Truth. You know what I mean? Because he out here backing up truckloads of water and whatnot, backing up truckloads of water as you see in Exhibit D. You know what I mean? As you see in Exhibit D. So I have to just say that this man is a straight petulant diva. You know what I mean? A petulant diva, and he's been neglecting his people while he's out there on the boat chilling with wifey, big pimping, spending G's. You know what I mean? People out here dying, looking for water, trying to drink clean water, trying to take, you know what I mean, have a nice hot shower like my nigga 503. You know what I mean? But he out here, he don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? He pimping on y'all niggas. He giving you Instagram content. That's not enough for me. I charge this nigga with being a petulant diva, you know what I mean, and neglecting his people. I rest my case.
Wow. The council, we need a defense.
Okay. Is that all you got, fella? Because I'm finna kill you with this one.
Oh wow.
With this one exhibit. So he charges my client, who is a athlete, a boxer, who never portrays to be any type of activist, as my guy Trader Truth and Mr. DJ Rogers, who have started their own foundation, which is called Relief Gang, where they go around, they help people in national disasters or state of emergencies, whether it's a tropical storm, a hurricane. As of recently, we just had the winter storm come through and people lost power, water, people haven't showered like myself, and stuff like that, who don't have running water to even take a shower or do anything, right? Jamal Charlo is a boxer. You go about that nature. Now, I would like to go back to his page, and I would like to show my exhibit just so I can prove my point. Now, if you go to Big Charlo's Future of Boxing Instagram, he's been on vacation for quite some time. And yes, he did post a picture of his car because, and of course the sheetrock falling through his ceiling, because he's a victim of the winter storm, as are many others like myself, Mr. King Palmer, Stay Ready, and a bunch of the other brothers and sisters like Big Snack Pack, who said his power hasn't been on since Monday. Okay, Jamal Hitman Charlo is a family man. Okay, that's one thing my client loves besides boxing and putting on great shows for the people. As you can see right here, he loves his children, he loves his wife, and he's a family man first. Okay, he never portrayed himself to be an activist, a community activist. He doesn't have any ties to the community, like the Relief Gang page, which I'm finna show you right now, which traded. Oh man, okay, I couldn't get to that one. But let me see. Let me go right back. Give me a few seconds, Judge, and we're gonna get this square right away. What the hell what is going on with my Instagrams? Okay, hold on. Give me a few seconds. Okay, so I go to Trader Truth's page, who's always been community activist, and he started the Relief Gang with Mr. DJ Rogers, and this is what he does. Okay, they are giving out water in Houston, Texas, to families that need water. This is what Trader Truth does. He's a community activist. He was on the front line in Kentucky when Breonna Taylor didn't get her fair shake in the court system. This is what he does. See, this is what he does. He gives out water. He does all these good things. You see him with Mattress Mac. Mattress Mac is a famous dude in Houston. He has the Gallery Furniture Store, and they do a lot of work in the community for the people. My client, like I said, once again, is an athlete. He doesn't do these type of things. He never portrayed himself to do these type of things like Trader Truth, and all these other guys. As you can see right here, my city has went through the turmoil in these past couple of days. Okay, this is ice all over the road. This is how it looked Monday morning. We're into Friday. Okay, now people that should be brought up on charges, Oddfella isn't even mentioning them, i.e., Mr. Ted Cruz, the Texas senator, the senator of Texas, who just got elected this year.
Is he from Texas?
Yes, he's from
Council?
Texas. He's from Austin. He's from Austin.
Horrible.
He's from Austin. He goes, now he's blasting my client, Jamal Charlo, for taking a trip with his family after hard work and dedication and putting
Objection. That's
Sustained.
true. I'm not blasting him for taking a vacation. I'm blasting him for being a petulant diva and being insensitive to and neglecting his people. Yeah, matter of fact, he should be coming off a vacation to serve the people. Serve the people. He's a multi-millionaire, you know what I mean? Serve the people with some water, with some soup, with some somethings, you know what I mean? Because there's hard times going on in Texas right now, and you can't just be insensitive, showing different pictures of. Once again, you're showing your hard times by your ceiling falling down on your exclusive DeLorean.
Yes, because he's a victim. He is a victim of the storm, just like many other Houstonians, bro.
The fruits of your labor, you know what I mean? Then you're showing your fruits at the wrong time right now, where people are really hard drawn and going through some shit. People are dying out here, you know what I mean? Don't got clean water, but you out on the seas. You out on the seas.
He is not the only.
You out on the water while people need
water. He's not the only one doing this, bro. He's not the only person that's doing this,
good
bro.
Look, and not only that, you know what I mean. He should be back in Houston.
This nigga dead. He dead, Your Honor. He knows I'm spanking that ass. That's why he won't be quiet. Can you please be? Can you please?
And you bringing up Ted Cruz. You bringing up Ted Cruz. Objection in the court.
Go on mute and hush it. Hush it and cut it. Thank you, sir.
I thought this foolery was finished.
No, I'm not finished. I didn't say anything. When you talk, I didn't give you any objections. I let you present your case. Can I please present my case? Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you. Now, the people and the man, shall I say, who's one of the most powerful men in Texas politics, the man that can get all of the resources and then some, who can get Joe Biden on the phone, the man with all of the resources, is doing the same exact thing that my client did. Instead of the senator of Texas, who just got elected by the people, reelected by the people last year, he takes a trip to Cancun. Last time I checked, Big Charlo.
Objection. Irrelevant to the case. We in boxing course. You showing partiality. You showing partiality to another court.
Prosecutor. I said sustained, prosecutor. I don't want to hold you in contempt.
Thank you.
Let him finish his point. He made a great one. You were winning until this came out. Let him finish his exhibit, please.
Thank you. Now, this has went viral all over the internet, from ABC News to Dallas News. It's even an article in the Independent UK. This guy's on vacation, taking a trip to Cancun, while my people, my kids, right now, my family, went without power for 4 days. No power, no water, no anything. Streets iced, restaurants closed. This man is on vacation. And to prove my point, You say it's Jamal Charlo who has the resources, right? Okay. Slim Thug, another rich rapper in the city of Houston, who's from the north side of Houston, is on vacation, right? Him and my favorite rapper, Killer Calion, are on vacation in Miami right now, while the people on the north side of Houston are struggling. This is what's going on. You see? So it's just not my client who's a rich man and has resources that he doesn't portray to be a community activist or any type of activist at all. He's a boxer and an athlete, and he uses his fists to feed his family. Slim Thug is a rapper and been rapping for years, and he's on vacation. So I just want to know, are we gonna hold the real people with the resources, the real politicians, and the real men who have the power to do something? Are we gonna hold them to the same fire that the prosecution is holding my client to, who doesn't even have community ties or doesn't portray himself to be an activist, like I just showed you with Trey the Truth of Relief Gang and DJ Mr. Rogers? Because if you go to Trey's page, he's a Relief Gang. You go to Jamal Charlo's page, he's a middleweight champion. So I rest my case, Your Honor.
Your Honor, to me, it sounds like and 503 does make a point, but it sounds to me like when someone gets caught and they go to court for a speeding ticket and they say, but everybody speeds, but everybody's not on trial. Only one person is on trial right now. So those things have to be brought into account as well. But I do understand where he's coming from. He doesn't promote himself as a guy as he is for the people type of deal. And Ted Cruz is someone that is for the people. But this court right here today and on this panel, we are all more invested in the champ than we are Ted Cruz. So that has to be accounted for as well.
When you're the champion, there's more responsibility that comes with being the champion, and that's being the champion of the people. And that's why so much people love Deontay Wilder, because he's a champion of the people. And this is why I'm charging this man of petulance. Let me quickly bring my Exhibit C, and I'll close out on the case of Jamal Charlo. My Exhibit C will show you that Jamal Charlo is further been neglecting his people and really doesn't give a damn about his people, because his boxing gym, his fitness establishment, is nowhere where his people can even access it. So you see right there, this is where we're in the outside of his beautiful boxing gym and fitness club, which gets a lot of good reviews, mind you, by a lot of Hispanic individuals. Now this boxing gym is located in the beautiful suburb of Sugarland, Texas. Sugarland, Texas, definitely. When I looked at the demographics real quick, we only had a paltry 9% African Americans. You know what I mean? This is where your champion Jamal Charlo is chose to put his boxing
Objection.
gym.
Objection.
Furthermore,
that isn't Jamal Charlo's gym. That isn't his gym. That's Jamel's gym, sir. Get your facts
further
right. Are you prosecuting Jamel Charlo or Jamal Charlo? Because last time I checked,
Furthermore, it's
that
both
is
of their
Jamel
gyms.
Charlo's gym. That
It's a
is
Charlo
Charlo's
brother.
gym.
It's a Charlo brothers gym. It's a
in
Charlo
the
brothers
defense,
gym. It doesn't
order,
say
let the
Jamel Charlo
prosecutor
on
get
the.
his point out. The prosecutor, you have to get the right one right, man. This is big bro, not little bro. Keep going though.
You have nothing, sir. You have nothing. This is nothing. If you're gonna present exhibits, make sure they're
This is both
factual,
the
sir.
brothers gym.
Make sure they're
This is both of
factual,
the
sir.
brothers gym.
No,
Furthermore,
it is
it's
not, sir.
located in Sugarland, Texas. If we look further, you know what I mean? There's no options up in the suburbs. You can't even take the bus out here if you don't have a car to get to this boxing gym. You know what I mean? So let me click on the transit options in this area, and you see that there's absolutely none. You know what I mean? There's absolutely none because we're in a nice pish posh suburb, you know what I mean, out in Sugarland, Texas. Yeah, that's where we at. You know what I mean? That's where your niggas is neglecting your people, you know what I mean, and not giving a damn, you know what I mean, where these boxing gyms making even accessible for the hood, for the people in the inner city of Houston, you know what I mean, from the inner suburbs of Houston and whatnot to get to their gym, you know what I mean, with some decent public transit. And I rest my case with Exhibit C right there. And once again, it was the brothers' gym. It's not just the little brothers' gym. It's the brothers' gym. If we go onto the website, we see it's lines only. It's the whole. It's the tandem. It's not just one or another. I rest my case.
Your Honor, I just want to present one thing to the court to
Yeah,
prove.
because I'm ready to render judgment.
Okay. Um, this is Jamel Charlo's page. And he is the owner of this Charlo Boxing and Fitness Club. He is the owner outright. Jamel Charlo trains at this gym. This is a picture of the inside of the gym. This is where Jamel Charlo had his camp for Jason Rosario. And if I go to Jamal Charlo's Instagram page, he has no pictures, no advertisement of this gym. This is where he trained for his fight. And this is the inside of his house, the one that received major water damage from the storm. My client is a victim, as well as all of the other Houstonians that is going through the winter storm aftermath. He is not the owner of Charlo Boxing and Fitness Club. This is where he trains at. This is where he had his camp at. He just did construction on his house and put a gym on the inside of his house. Now, I rest my case, Your Honor. Oh shit. Act went out. Yes, Kenny, you say from watching stuff on them, the high school they went to did not look like they lived in the hood. The school looked like the suburbs with black people. Oh yeah, that's a fact. They didn't go to school in the hood. They didn't. That's a fact. Hastings High School was where they went to.
Hey fellas,
Yeah,
I gotta make a move. I'm gonna holler at y'all tomorrow and shit.
all right.
What's up? All right, respect.
All right.
Come on, Act. Where you at, man? Let's get this final verdict, man, so we
Give
can
this
end night
final
court.
verdict. Yeah, I mean, this was a very intense case. Final case. Jamal Charlo, the LDBC versus Jamal Charlo. We've heard our definitely our opening statements and our closing statements, and I think we have the judge reappearing. Judge, do we have a verdict in this case 5, the final case of the LDBC versus Jamal Charlo?
Yeah, and of course Kate Doggett, 2024, the LDBC versus Jamal Charlo. I find the defendant not guilty. Find him not guilty. I'm not gonna lie, I do think that there is bigger fish to fry. Even though I do think that it shouldn't. I understand that you're a family man, but I think that it's time to get back, you know what I mean, to Houston a little bit more. You know what I mean? You've been blessed. Everybody wasn't as blessed as you to make them out of some of them wards like you did. And I'm sure that it's tough over there, just like it is in the boroughs in New York. So I want to see a little bit more giving back. We love you more. Even though I let you get off. Yeah, I mean, you can't be having 1,000 babies, champ. If we gotta help the people. I ain't going for a slow down. You got enough. You got a girl now. I want you to chill out. Let's try to help the people. You and your brother. Let's get back to the people. You know what I mean? It is Black History Month. We did just have the Judas and the Black Messiah drop. I just want to see a little bit more involvement with each other. You know what I mean? Well, what my man say? Where there's people, there's power. You know what I'm saying? So let's get to it. But with that being said, man, this was a good episode 4. Sorry I started late. Salute Skinny Kenny. I see you came in late. We about to close out the show. 503, would you like to give your last words? And thanks for coming through. This one was real funny. Steels is always fucking hilarious, man, arguing with people. I can't.
Yeah, he definitely. Listen, man. Steels
he was on his game
tonight,
today.
man.
Yeah, he was. He was.
You know what I'm saying? I got to give bro credit, man. He definitely made me go on my trick bag, man. But he getting better with this shit, man. Like I say, man, he won. He the real MVP for the night, man. Shit, he's like fucking 4-1 on some shit. You know what I'm saying? 3-2. I think he won like 3 and lost 2. If I'm not mistaken.
He won like 3 and lost 2. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he the man for the night, man. You know what I'm saying? Keep going up, man. I mean, it's only getting better from here, man. I like this whole night court idea. The theme of it, man, is dope. You know what I'm saying? More people will definitely catch on to it. You know what I'm saying? As we, keep the episodes and content coming out, man. I'm just glad to have you back, bro. Keep doing your thug thistle, man. And yeah, man. I know we had some technical difficulties earlier, man, but we didn't let that stop us, man. Much love to you, Act. Much love to my bro Jay Steels. Supreme, stay ready, man. KG. All of the brothers, man. Much love, man. Peace.
Oops.
Yeah, it was another dope episode of Night Court. Most definitely episode 4. You know what I mean? Be on the lookout for the edits on Instagram. You know what I mean? Follow me at J Steels. You know what I mean? Follow the judge at Berserker _ boy with an I in the dig. You know what I mean? Not tomorrow night, but Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. It's going down to LDBC Cypher. You know what I mean? Don't forget to drop in on that. You know what I mean? It will be inside the War Room, the War Report on my channel. Subscribe to the R Fella, THAODDFELLA. Y'all know what it is. Once again, salute to everybody, the jury, the paralegals, the prosecutors, the defense that was in here tonight. Of course, big up and salute to Judge Galvatron. You know what I mean? That was definitely alive and awake tonight, you know what I mean, for his rulings, you know what I mean, and I definitely agree with his rulings. So yeah, it's your favorite, yeah, your most hated art fella. Salute to the whole LDBC, and I'm Gizon.
Man, I appreciate y'all, man. Everybody came to the panel. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties. You know how the weather is if you're from New York or the East Coast. Shit is retarded, but we got everything situated. Next week, I'll try to make sure I do like a little test run, just in case. With that being said, man, follow me at berserker_boy BOI on Twitter, Instagram. Look out for the next episode, 9 p.m. Friday. Steals, man. Close out, man. Court is now turned, man. Okay, Steals. Okay.